Hey YouTube, it's Brenda Lee Turner from LeanSecrets.com. I am back. I'm so excited to be back. I was away for a little bit on a hiatus in Miami. I got to hang out with my family members that I haven't seen in 13 years, eat my grandmother's arroz con gandules. My Spanish is very rusty. I got to go to a WWE game, fight thing. Don't judge me. I saw The Rock. He was pretty cool. The rest of it. And if you want to hear more about what I've been up to the past month and a half, you can check out my blog post down there. I'll put a link down there and you can read all about it. I'll put some pictures up. Today we're gonna get back into the Lean Secrets swing of things. We're gonna be making soup. I'm thoroughly obsessed lately with soup. For those of you who don't know, I live in the icy tundra we call Illinois, and it is extremely cold. It's getting like single digits. And so the soup is warming me up, and it's actually so good, and it warms my soul. And you guys will probably love this soup. This way of making soup applies to pretty much any vegetable. If you want to make broccoli soup, if you want to make mushroom soup, if you want to make potato soup, any kind of soup, you can use this exact method, what I'm going to show you, okay? So for this recipe, I'm going to be showing you guys with a crock pot, a slow cooker. If you don't have a slow cooker or a crock pot, you should get one. It's about 30 bucks, and it's one of the best investments in your kitchen that you can make besides a good blender. It doesn't even matter if it's high quality, low quality. This one was about $30 and it works just fine. I make fajitas in it, I make soups in it, stocks, anything in here. You set it and you forget it, as Ron Popeil would say. So today we're making carrot ginger soup, and this soup is so good. It's sweet, it's savory. It's the best of everything that a soup should have. Now, before we embark on our recipe, which I'm so excited about, I wanted to mention really quick, because I know this is gonna come up, about raw fruits and vegetables and how cooking them kills the nutrition content. I wanna actually debunk that myth. There is plenty of benefits to eating certain fruits and vegetables in a raw state. It can be highly, highly nutritional for your body and for getting lean. But there are certain vegetables that are better and more nutritious to the body when cooked. There's something called cellulose, and that's what gives certain vegetables their crunch and their stiff texture. Now that cellulose is kind of like a wall, and it holds nutritional content, and unless we break down that cellulose barrier with a little bit of gentle heat like a slow cooker, the vitamins aren't going to be absorbed in your body. They're just going to pass right through you. There's studies that show things like carrots, there's only 1% of the retinoids, which are the precursor to vitamin A, that gets absorbed into your body from eating it raw, whereas a very large percentage of it gets absorbed into your body after you cook it gently in something like a slow cooker. I have 2 pounds of organic, high quality, beautiful carrots. We're gonna start by cutting the carrot. For all the carrots, just a rough chop and throw it in your slow cooker. I'm also going to cut up my potato, which has been washed. I'm not gonna peel this because I want this to be quick and easy for you. So I'm just gonna cut it into about 1/2 inch thick pieces, and then cut those pieces down the middle. Sometimes when you go to a restaurant and you order a soup like this, a carrot soup, and it comes back and it's creamy and delicious, and you're thinking, oh, it's so healthy. What you don't realize is that they've put a whole lot of butter to make it creamy. We're not doing that. We're using the sweet potato to make it a thick, creamy soup, and it's also gonna make it taste amazing. I have 1/2 of a yellow onion chopped up, about an inch piece of ginger. I didn't even peel it, just chopped it really quick, and 1 shallot. So what we're gonna do, it's just about 5 minutes of actual cooking time. We're gonna get to the pan. We're gonna cook these 3 things up: the onion, the ginger, and the shallot. I've got my pan heated up, and I'm adding a tablespoon total of coconut oil. Now I'm gonna add my onions, and I'm gonna go ahead and add my shallot and my ginger. Now I'm just gonna cook this for a few minutes until the onions are a little bit wilted, a little bit browned, and then we put this whole thing into the crock pot. The onions are nice and soft. Everything's a little bit brown, but not too much. And we're gonna go ahead and put everything, including what we can of the oil, into the crock pot. Crock pot's still off, but now I'm gonna go ahead and add this stuff. What we gotta do is add some liquid to this. 1/2 cup of water. That's a little less than 1/2 cup of water. Free range, low sodium chicken broth. I like low sodium because I like to control how much salt I put into my soup. And what I'm gonna do is put all this in until the vegetables are covered. I'm gonna use a pretty healthy serving of garlic powder, a little tiny bit of cinnamon, 3 bay leaves in. Bay leaves just basically give it that special something that you can't quite put your finger on. 2 caps of extra virgin organic cold pressed olive oil. Set it on high, and we're gonna leave it alone for about 4 hours and come back and check on it. It's been 4 hours and our soup is ready to be blended. And the way that you know that it's ready is if you take a knife or a fork and you poke it into the carrot, it should just slide right in there and just come right back out. Take those bay leaves out. You don't want to blend those in. If you don't have a blender, you got to go and get one. It's like my third hand in the kitchen. I always have it out. I use this almost every day. But if you don't want one, if you really don't want one, or if you don't have the counter space for one, an immersion blender is just fine. Now we're going to blend our soup and make our soup. This is a final step. When you're working with a blender and hot liquids, you have to make sure that you keep it about halfway down. You have to work in small batches so that the heat doesn't cause pressure to explode the lid right off, and then you got soup everywhere, even on you. That could be dangerous. So about halfway up and work in small batches. It really is so easy. You get home from the gym, you get home from your errands, you get home from picking up the kids at soccer, you take this off the crock pot, you ladle it in, it takes a couple seconds to blend it, and then you've got a beautiful soup for your salad or as a great side to whatever else you're making. This has a lid with the whole thing, whatever you want to call that. I don't know what the exact name for that is, but I'm gonna make sure this is not on it. And that's because that's gonna allow some release of the heat so that there's not like a big explosion. Not a big explosion, I've got you guys scared. I don't want to scare you. There could be some pressure that builds up. If you take that off, there's not going to be any pressure that builds up. A towel on top. Okay, so now the soup is done. I'm just going to serve this up. And here's what I like to do. This is raw honey. I'm going to put just a little bit on top, just a tiny drizzle, a little bit of Celtic sea salt, and just a tiny bit on top. This soup is so good. Not only is it delicious though, it is super lean, coming in at about 300-400% of your vitamin A intake for the day, high in fiber, very low in calories, very nutrient dense, and very, very lean friendly. Guys, I had so much fun cooking soup with you today and talking about soup and being a total nerd. And if you need any more information about how to get and stay lean, firm, and toned, you can go to leansecrets.com. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.